And so they were like, "Oh yeah, but like nobody got it." I was like, "What?" But and so it just makes me happy.
So you're used to people not getting your jokes.
But somebody else clicked somebody else put. I'm like, "Oh, somebody else knows this movie."
It's your own dang brother.
I haven't watched that movie in forever, but the song was for some reason stuck in my head. And I was like, I'm just gonna send that to the group. And I was like, Ollie,
I'll probably watch it later on.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the movie's awful.
But it is awful in a good way. It's like you'll watch it like I shouldn't be watching this, but I'm not gonna stop.
I watched it in 2002 because I was 16.
It's literally one of those movies that you watch when you're just like a teenager and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna watch this because it's cool. It's not cool.
Guess the movie in chat. So, as you continue going up the stairwell, you close your eyes, and just on that cusp where you think, based on the timing and the amount of footsteps you've made, you think it would loop again. You feel an air strike you. What?
You said you feel, and there's a pause. I said loopy.
You feel a difference in air, and you may even open your eyes slightly as instead of going up for another step. If you ever do this where you like almost think there's going to be another step and you go like a slightly, you do that, and a lot of you peel up from the stairwell. And I assume you reopen your eyes, but you still have darkness cast around you. So you're just sort of a inky mess of darkness in the middle of this chamber. As you
I look around the chamber.
As you look around, and the rest of them are... How big is darkness? What, 15-foot swircle?
Radius of 30-foot diameter.
Yeah. As you look around, you actually see directly in front of you, in this chamber, which has walls, it has open edges, and it has these open sides on the corners that actually loop upwards to where you must be at the very top of the tower, but not on the roof of it, a chamber at the top of the tower. You see before you, directly before you, some feet away, Verminous, the Lich you were sent here to kill. Standing atop around 10, 15 feet or so, 15 feet of the wave of skeletons that he travels upon, that even though he is not moving, they still move. You see hands move and shift and change, and almost repositioning itself. He stands very prim and proper with the sort of the grace of a nobleman atop it, holding a spear staff in one hand, and all his garb matches the same aesthetic of this almost faded teal turquoise color that matches this headdress with gold, again also faded, accenting and highlighting every single step. His physical features, when you see them, they are somewhere between that of a zombie and a skeleton, where what skin would have wasted away is almost re-solidified into bone, calcified. And he just looks down at a lot of you in the sphere of darkness, as if he can see right into your very soul, General, because he is looking directly at you as the lead of the party, even through the darkness. At least you get that feeling. You see these piercing green motes of light in his eyes, and just a slight twisted smile on his face when he sees a lot of you.
So, I will immediately turn around, touch two of my... What?
Challenge him to a game of chess?
Ha!
I was trying to befriend a dragon. I'll immediately turn around, touch Mikhail and Devi on the shoulder, incanting heroism, which immediately ends the darkness. So all of a sudden, the three of them can see him behind me, and I will then turn back around to face him.
I immediately move up with sword and shield out.
I guess it's an initiative roll time, but not yet.
Yeah, okay, excuse me. We need the overbearing monologue. Hold on, let me change the background music.
You're aware that it's a Lich. There's gonna be a monologue, but
yeah, I need different background music.
Jurassic Park for sure.
Nightmare. I'm gonna listen to Nightmare. Yeah, Mathis used to do that to me. I'd be like, I am here to memorize a charge.
I've had Ian do that to me before. We've done that before on Friday. Like, you don't let them monologue. I always love that in Fable.
But if he
2.
knows and prepared for him to do that, he'd be like, I walk 5 feet forward.
In Fable 2, there's a bit like near the end with the villains monologuing, and the villain monologues for a long as like you have a chance to kill them, and if you just listen to them, one of your companions just shoots them in the head. And it's like he was talking forever, and I was like, well done, well done. So,
Although William, if you let him monologue, you're a failure as a sorcerer. I'm just gonna let you know.
yeah, it's true.
I don't know how.
Give
I
me
don't get,
your
that doesn't make sense.
initiative rolls, please. And
One doesn't equal the other.
Oh, that's a great start to the
oh yes, please and thank you.
I would like to point out he could have the legendary action monologue. Okay. We're all. This sucks. Mikhail, why'd you roll twice?
I didn't click my token.
Oh.
So you still got a 6.
Yeah, I'm changing it.
One.
It's a shame because he didn't even roll very well. But he does get the first action. And as you start walking forwards, and this is when Riel starts sort of walking in front of General, and you will start.
Can I just point out, is this area meant to be light?
No,
Because you said we could see him.
if you have dark vision, you can.
Oh,
And
I thought you
either
said-
way, you can sort of see his eyes in the darkness. But no, it is pure blackness up here, aside from those with dark vision.
Okay, right, sure.
That's true. I always forget because I got the camera mode. But yes, those two see him. But you would have moved forward when you sort of
Oh yeah,
sensed
absolutely.
your
I
presence.
moved forward anyway, but
Being a paladin. Verminus sort of outstretches one hand and leans back with the other and says, "Yes, you've made the right choice. Come to me, little paladin of light of your forefathers. Honestly, you'll all understand that by my side, part of my legion of the dead, you'll have a far better place in the world. Please, come forward." And actually doesn't do anything yet. No, of course he's gonna do something. You crazy? Not gonna do something? That's not even possible. He's actually going to sort of, as he outstretches his hand, as his hand is outstretched, a crackling cord of energy is going to sort of outstretch towards Riel, like a sort of slow-moving snake. Give me a Constitution save, Riel.
She's the back of the line. It goes through all of us. Everyone dies.
I don't
She's not
like the
likely.
sound.
Line of death.
And you see it pierce her. It doesn't actually hurt you, and you're probably so steadfast in your sort of zealot rage right now. You don't even acknowledge it. If it was an attack, you can move through it. It was some sort of effect. It didn't affect you. So you think.
I'm not sure a 17 on a con save against a high-powered necromancer lich thing is enough to save. It's going to kill me in a couple of turns.
That's why you use an action point, just in case.
General.
This isn't Eberron, so
Action points exist outside of Eberron.
okay.
Yeah, they
this
do.
game doesn't have them, so
Shitty DM.
General, your turn. I actually like action points. I just don't really like. I don't.
No, I know.
They are fine.
Yeah. I'm just
Action
teasing.
points are a good alternative if you don't reward inspiration very often.
Yeah. So, and that's literally why we started doing that. So General is going to walk forward. Sword in one hand, dagger in the other. And as I walk forward, I will say, we have defeated your, what are they called? We have defeated your commanders. We are winning the battlefield on the ground. And should we face one another now, we will defeat you here as well. You have an opportunity to crawl back into whatever hole you came from. Maybe you can live out a few more eons before something comes chasing after you. Or we can resolve this here. Some of us may die, but understands that you will be pulled, clawing down into the darkness with us. A darkness to which you will not return.
He listens, seeming entertained. As a bard, you are aware of how this sort of, of how when people actually genuinely listening to you, and he genuinely is. And he sort of smiles more, although with the sort of twisted face, it doesn't really reach like a true smile, and just sort of nods. Like, very well. If you wish for me to leave, then all of Vanatef can leave. But you will be staying here with me. And continue sort of moving forward and weaving spells. And that cord that's sort of linking him to Riel is still there.
I turn back to them. I'd turn back to him and say, me alone?
The four of you, you are proving to be resilient and useful. Once we get rid of that messy skin and flesh on your
when he says the four of them, I will be more than happy to make an attack.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Do
one
you
of
throw
those.
a stone?
Yeah.
Yeah!
I'm sorry. He says the four of you.
That's a hit.
Yay! I genuinely was worried.
Yeah, I'm real happy about that.
Hey, max damage.
Good job.
Thanks. Pat in the head.
You rolled so badly before, now you roll max damage is kind of like relevant.
Yay! Twice in a row.
Good job! So he's speaking and you just go and these pebbles magically propelled sort of hit him like in the one in the sort of neck, one in the chest. It's sort of like making do with what you have, I can respect that.
I'll actually give like a shrug and then like a sly smile and then get onto my wearied battle stance.
And he'll sort of point the staff spear down at you, again down, and clearly sets his eyes on you. Why don't you, Riel, give me 2 Constitution saves?
Oh, lovely.
And you die.
Yeah, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Constitution save. Oh, lovely. That's another Constitution save.
Should have taken the deal.
Well, one of them's okay.
You actually take 6 damage, and you sort of just feel like a bruising right here, right where the Lich was hit, sort of under your armor, start to well.
That's a not shield of faith. What's that? Shield other.
Next up is Mikhail.
Oh, what? No, is it called?
So,
What's that old ability called?
Mikhail can't see anything.
Psionic.
It
And
would make
thus
sense to be psionic, you know.
Hostile.
is going to throw his hand up into the air, casting a spell
What?
to rid
spell
the
is it?
darkness in this
Yeah.
room.
What do you? I'll make it, and you can put it.
Yeah. I'll make it and you can put it.
Yeah. It's a big boy. It's a 60 foot, 60 foot.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, it's big.
He's a big boy.
I imagine you want to be just right in the fucking middle.
Yeah, that's pretty good right there.
Great. So you do that, the darkness where some of you weren't entirely sure what was happening, you can just sort of see magic and you can see the darkness in his eyes now is filled with the holy light of the first Emperor of Humanity.
I can't see this light.
You should be able to. Everyone can see it.
Okay, then for some reason I can't.
Then you reload roll 20.
Okay.
We've done this before.
Yeah, I'm just making sure that you hadn't forgotten.
Sometimes I
like,
do forget. It's if it's one button that needs to be pressed, I'm often gonna forget it.
Yeah, I do that. I move there and That's my turn.
Awesome. Verminus does sort of flinch a little. Not that the light hurts him in any ways, just that was a slight shock. He's going to... He is going to cast something. Mr. General, give me a wisdom save.
Oh god, my worst save. Thanks.
It's not like you're going up against a lich or anything. You, heroism, does that give you immunity to fear?
It does.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you actually feel his the staring. You can almost like see the back of his eye socket through the little orbs of glowing magic, and you can feel him try to tug at your mind. You almost feel shadowy hands tugging at the back of your head, and then you feel even stronger shadows cementing that no harm will happen to you.
That's frightening because
I still can't see this light.
I will look at your character real quick.
when heroism ends, the effect kicks in, I believe.
I don't think it does.
You can see the light on my end. I would just maybe reload, like close Chrome, reopen it, because
I'll have to
like
reload.
I can walk into players. Riel can see.
Okay, I will reload thingy entirely.
I can describe it for you if you'd like.
Yeah,
or
we
you can
can-
just
we
watch
can
it on
do-
Twitch,
Worst comes to worst, I'll just watch it on Twitch.
Yeah, exactly. We'll do a sort of critical role with it.
or just give him the ability to see through my character's eyes. Like give him control.
Yeah,
of my
exactly.
character.
Right. Devi.
Yeah.
Your turn.
I am going to move and bonus action move over here while casting Mage Hand again, because I can move further rather than just moving it if I recast it. Subtly, using my item, while saying, let's listen to what he has to say a second, General. Let's say Dracarys said something about your philosophy, death being cleaner than the alternative. Would you perhaps like to elaborate on that? And I will
You
do a
can give me
deception
persuasion. Deception, yeah, for sure. Now that you mention it. That's a really good deception roll.
She's kind of fucked in the head.
roll. She's kind of like entirely fucked in the head. Oh.
Let's hear what he has to say first.
So like, it wouldn't surprise me if she was like, "I'm
Like just
genuinely
betrays
interested
you in that
anybody-
last moment.
You know,
I don't
like
think
I fought my way to get here to get your attention because please do tell me about how my life can be fulfilled by Christ. You know.
Please continue.
Oh.
And my mage hand is invisible,
Yes, exactly.
so it is gonna go like find him or about like in his area.
Yeah, for sure. He was going to sort of laugh breathily and just sort of nod. It's one of those things that's kind of could have been a nod, it could have been a shaking of the head, it could have gone either way. Your world is chaotic. The wars that you strike below my feet now is just one part of that. I've already swayed dragons. I've already swayed giants. Swaying man is merely the next step towards a world without life. Well, with life only serving a very particular purpose. And he's going to cast Ray of Frost down at Mr. General. As he's sort of talking, just sort of go like a down. Do. That is very much a hit. And he is one of those.
Are you sure though?
I mean, are you going to cast a thing?
No, not for Ray of Frost.
Exactly.
30 damage. Shit.
It is max level Ray of Frost. I don't even have enough d8s on my little velvet. I do. Thing for it. I thought I didn't. I do.
How is he going to cast Cure Serious Wounds without D8s?
When it
Sorry,
gets too
Cure
many, I just
Critical
roll it
Wounds.
on the thing because I get lazy. So that is 21 damage, and your speed is reduced by 10 feet.
Yeah, I know. Pain in my ass.
Yep, he's just sort of like shoots this beam of ice that starts to sort of like the hall of ice before. It starts to sort of wrap around your legs, sort of clinging you to the ground. Next up is Riel. Riel, can you see?
No.
All right, I'll give you vision on general then, I guess.
Thank you.
Give complete control of character.
Assuming direct control. Can you see now?
I can see now. Thank you.
Weird, because Riel has all the sight.
Yeah, don't know. Just
Sometimes it just glitches out though.
20. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I take a step forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I just say, humanity will never be swayed by your lies, abomination. And as I do that, I am just going to press a hand to my chest, cleansing touch myself on whatever. I don't know if what he used on me was a spell.
I'm willing to allow that, actually. Yeah. So you do that, and this almost sometimes translucent sort of snake of dark energy that's sort of traveling through you. You see it recoil back into his hand, and it sort of hums slightly. He's going to go ahead and do... Hey! All of you give me constitution saves.
Oh,
As he
dear.
sort of, he lowers his body somewhat and just pushes the base of his staff against the ground. You hear this baleful, horrific moaning, wailing, screams of pain of the dead. You actually see from above you, if you imagine that there's almost like a slightly conical chamber to this roof, you see in the areas where it is open windows, you see spirits crawling down and actually swooping down at you, spirits of the damned. Gonna need some more constitution saves. I'm
From
missing
everyone?
some. Everyone.
We were definitely paying attention.
I was paying attention to what happened to them. I didn't realize I would have to make constitution
You are
saves.
also getting some constitution savings.
That's really shitty.
That's pretty... So only one of you passes.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good roll for me too.
Yeah.
These
Yes.
apparitions of doomed spirits. Yeah, it was a good roll. It was just not quite good enough. Sometimes you do your best and you still fail. And D&D teaches you some valuable life lessons. I rolled pretty shit, but you do take 15 necrotic damage, and Mikhail, you take half as much. You're sort of away from the brunt of them. There's almost like this swirling tornado of spirits around these three. You do get buffeted by some, but your prayer keeps some away, some others. And almost as quickly as it started, this all happens in a matter of maybe like 2 seconds. It stops again, and you're just left with actual deafening silence. I believe it'll be easier. And he looks directly at Devi. For me to simply show.
Some furious typing. Whose turn is it, by the way?
It's his.
It's his turn.
And he moves up. Skeletons. Down to General. Again lowers himself. He's around 5 feet above the ground now. And leans in as close as he can to General. And General hears him utter one single word. And General falls.
No!
Blades falling
So loud.
to the ground.
Wait a
No.
second.
Classic.
Hold on.
No, power is power word. There's nothing you can do if you have less than a certain number of health points, which my maximum health points is less than that certain number.
Wait, is that a spell?
It is a spell.
But it's
can
a-
I,
You
I
can try and
counterspell
counterspell it. It
It's
is a
above
hard
level
one.
3.
I understand that.
It is
What
a
do I
max
roll for
level
this?
spell. If you just do counterspell in chat, it will tell you.
I want to know what spell that was. Does my 16 tell me what spell that was?
You're dead.
How do you know what
Scott knows
It
what
could be-
spell that was.
It could be power word sleep. It can be power word.
Well,
close your eyes.
just click it in chat and it'll. All right, counter spell. It's a DC plus your spellcasting ability. So for you, it's just a charisma check.
So a charisma check. Here's hoping.
It's not actually impossible. It's not even that hard.
Make an ability check using spellcasting ability. So
It's
And you try when you see him leaning forward, and you see almost this breath of magic off him that you only can see because you're such an experienced sorcerer in this sort of natural magic that a simple word would be. You try to utter the words to counterspell it, but the breath just doesn't come out. And General falls dead.
So you all lose heroism.
You lose
Good
heroism.
luck. Which means no temporary 6 HP every round.
Meow. Meow.
we are
Oh, Aaron, your freedom of movement still applies.
I only lost.
So you can still run up those skeletons, no problem.
That's
why I did it.
Next up is Mikhail.
Seeing him drop and me trying to counterspell it, it doesn't make me a happy boy. I'm going to... Hold on, I need to zoom in a little bit. I zoomed out too much and I'm struggling to read things. Okay, that's much better. So General's right next to him, he's there. Okay. I don't like this. I don't like this.
Maybe change the music in the background. I'm going to listen to Lucha Libre.
Ray.
Alright, you know, you do you, mate. Prepare your big guns.
I'm seeing if I can...
Oh, apparently an unexpected error has occurred. I guess that would be General dying.
Oh, wow.
That was
that's
very
messed
much
up.
an expected error.
Hey, chat heard it. I got the boobity boops.
I'm going to throw up... you guys are all so close. Why are you so close?
Because it moved closer to us.
Okay, so
You did
I
move
will...
closer.
I'm going to position this actually kind of far away so it only hits him, right? I can do that if...
What are you gonna do? What are you positioning?
A sunburst?
Click it. We'll see. Usually, if it's an error of effect, you can probably get it so it just clips him.
Yeah, I'm trying to do it so it just clips
Do
him.
some Leona shit. Yeah, the 60-foot radius. You just do it sort of like
On the back
over
end.
here this way. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to do that.
Okay. Constitution save. Great. It passes.
Okay, so it takes...
That was a bad roll.
That was a shitty
That was a
roll.
terrible roll. Not a single 6 in the lot. Takes half that, so it only takes 14 damage. That's terrible.
So those things with the blast of
Did you
light.
roll with disadvantage?
Yeah.
Damn it.
The blast of light hits behind it, and it just sort of he sort of just sort of turns his head away. You even see the light sort of burn. Scott, stop that! Stop all of that.
What is he doing?
He's being a
I don't
memer because
like
he's
it.
dead.
I don't
When
like
you're
it
dead,
one
you're
bit.
meant to be like quiet and not a mess. Now you messed everything up. Oh, Scott,
no.
you
What
messed
am I
up
now?
everyone's cameras. Everyone's wrong. It's not like usually people are just slightly wrong. Now everyone's wrong. All right, slight pause because Scott's a sore loser.
It was stupid XSplit was
Yeah, it turns your
misbehaving.
camera off for a split second, which turns
Yeah.
off the it pumps up the jam, you know.
No, wait a second. This is a
No,
bad thing.
don't. I fixed
No, hold
it.
on.
Stop
Aaron,
it.
you're dead. You can go for a walk with Penny and Eric. I'll take over.
So,
Damn it.
yeah, he's mostly unaffected by the sunburst.
Yeah, that's not much there. I move. I will. That's reckless. I'm not gonna do anything else right this second because I can't really. So that's my turn. As much as I don't want it
He
to
is
be.
going to he's going to actually shoot Ray of Frost at you, Mikhail.
I'm fine with that.
He
Let it
hits.
happen.
Yeah, you're a fire sorcerer. How bad can a little ice be? Pretty bad. So that's 19 cold damage, and your speed is reduced by 10 next turn.
Okay.
Next up is Devi.
Devi's
You're
muted.
muted. The Lich casts silence.
I will casually make my way up there, use my movement. I will bonus action move my mage hand back towards the Lich, while saying, "Yeah, no, I can definitely see how that is much cleaner." Like giving a cursory glance towards General's fallen body. Again, making a deception roll.
Yeah. He chuckles, and it's very weird. If you ever hear like monsters chuckle, there's heart behind it, but a very dark, sick amusement.
Okay. And that's a 22, just because I am proficient with it.
Yes.
And that's kind of my turn. I don't think I can cast anything quite yet. Yep.
Awesome. He will go ahead and look down at Riel. But Riel, I believe you're just immune to fear because you're a paladin, right?
Yeah, I'm completely immune to fear.
Cool. Nothing happens. He's just staring you down. He seems to have very little interest in Devi. Some interest in Mikael. Next is your turn.
Okay. Am I able to hit him from here, or am I going to have to wade through the skeletons?
You're going to have to wade through the skeletons to attack up at him.
Okay. I will do so.
Alright, skeletons will make an attack at you.
Of course they will.
But your armor's strong enough that they're just sort of like grabbing at you, but it doesn't actually like claw and do much damage to you.
Long sword, long sword, long sword. That's not good.
It's one of those things. You swing at the sword, and with his free hand, he just grabs your hand, and you feel the touch of the Lich against yours. You. And he's gonna get a free attack off against you.
I am so going to die.
You take 12 cold damage and give me a Constitution save. If you complete this Constitution save, you can still get the attack off. Well, you can get your next attack off. Hopefully.
Don't jinx me like that. Oh, brilliant!
As he
I'm
grabs
doing
your
so
hand
well.
and you feel your heart beat cold, you feel your body unable to move at all by a magical means.
Oh man.
Just rip. I just whatever.
He then turns back to Devi and just chuckles with a sort of, "I knew you would understand." And that same cord of magic that he had on Riel sort of stretches out around you and pierces you. Next, he will...
Devi.
Should I make a Constitution save or no?
No, it's actually every time he gets hit.
Ah.
I read it wrong, because I'm not the best, but I've never played as a Lich before, so you know what?
First time for everything.
Yeah.
Scott is dead.
And he is going to then focus his attention mostly on Mikael, and he's going to point at him with his staff, and a lightning strike of black crackling energy will tear through the air at Mikael. Mikael, give me a Constitution save.
So this is a spell, yeah?
This is also a spell.
I'm gonna cast a counter spell at 5th level. I'm throwing
Do
it
you,
in
do you
the
have to
chat.
cast
Just take
Counterspell at higher levels, or can you just try to counterspell other levels?
You can cast it at higher levels, and basically if it's 5th level or lower, it automatically goes away. If it's higher, I have a shot.
You're gonna have to roll for it.
Damn it. I was hoping it was like a 5th level spell. Okay. Here we go.
It was Constitution. You rolled Charisma.
This is my counter spell. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so he does that. He starts casting the spell at you, and the lightning does strike. And how do you counterspell?
This is like really the first. So I tried it again. I kind of just like weave like the fire that I already had in my hands, and just like put my hands out with like kind of like a flash, almost like a jazz hands, but put it out with like a flash, and the fire consumes any spell that was coming and just completely makes it vanish.
Yeah, there's almost like a, and again silence.
Yeah.
And Verminus just goes, this one knows of powerful magic. It'll be very useful when I strip it from your bones. And he
I wish I rolled that when Scott was dying. That's so much
You
better.
needed something to bring you together.
Yeah, I guess.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Scott.
5, 6.
I don't like this. You go away.
You go away.
You go away.
And he's moving because he's not moving. This wave of skeletons is having him move with a speed and grace. And he doesn't even look like he's controlling it very much. It's second nature. And he moves right beside you, like leaning down, like there's only 2 feet or so above the ground. And then it's just your turn.
My turn. So I am going to cast Delayed Fire Blast. A Blast Fireball, whatever it is. There we go.
Delayed fireball, I think, yeah?
Yeah. As well as the second I do that, I spend my last 2 sorcery points to boom.
Yeah.
So the fire I lose concentration on the Fire Blast. I am now immune to fire damage. The Fire Blast goes off. He takes an extra D10 on top of that because he's starting. All right, so this is some damage here. He has to do a dex save.
All right, let me start like one thing at a time, mate.
Yeah.
So he takes a dex save. He is going to actually try and counterspell your delayed fireball.
Okay, so that's a 7th level spell.
Yes.
Just so you know.
Yeah. I do know. But he fails actually.
Yay.
So then he makes his dex save, which he makes.
He takes half of this, and then I'll reroll any ones.
It's 2.
I'm gonna reroll the 2 2s as roll as well. I'm gonna spend my last sorcery point actually.
2.
Roll 4d6. Oh,
It's a lot of damage.
pretty good. And then 1d10 for being close to me.
So what was the new
I
damage?
get to reroll that. I'm doing this just and I'll add it all up after.
Okay.
Yeah. Reroll no d10. Alright. So 6, that's 23 plus 43 minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 66, 60 damage total.
Okay. That obviously very much damages the Lich. It's one of those things where the skeletons start crawling up to take the brunt of the explosion of the fireball. But even then, just all the things you do so quickly, he can't deflect or dodge most of them. And the fire just starts searing and burning at him. And he doesn't look all that injured, but you can tell by just the sheer frustration that this is hurting. This is
And then I'm
harmful.
going to use my move action.
He's going to get an opportunity attack on you. What is your
Yeah.
AC right now?
AC is 17.
He just hits a 17.
Okay. So when he hits me, he's going to take...
So first of all, you take a whopping 4 cold damage.
I take half of that because I'm resistant.
Mm-hmm.
There we go, that's better.
And then give me a Constitution save.
Yep. So he takes 27 more damage.
What the fuck?
And then a con save.
And then you give me a con save. And you do all that, and as you sort of throw fire back at him as he grabs you,
Yeah.
you don't make it very far because he paralyzes you.
Ah,
You would be there.
damn it. It's alright.
And then
I'm paralyzed, can I speak?
no,
Okay, fair
you
enough.
can kind of like groan.
You hear a loud groan
Yeah.
as I try to speak, but nothing comes out.
Alright, my turn.
One moment. No, he's going to add a little insult to injury, and going to Ray of Frost you. You're paralyzed, so you don't move, so the melee doesn't counteract. He still hits. Other things he could have done would have been redundant. And
Would have been
that's
repetitive
going
and
to
redundant.
be 14 points.
So I take 7.
Of cold damage. Yep. And then it's Debbie's turn.
Okay, my turn. So you're still paralyzed, right, Riel?
Those two are both paralyzed, yeah.
I'm gonna run over to her, and here's what I want to do. I'm going to cast invisibility on the two of us, subtly, and because I'm not using any material or somatic components and whatnot, I want to try to make it seem like I'm casting a different spell, entirely. So I'm gonna make it seem as if I'm casting a teleportation spell.
Okay. I will say that's entirely plausible. You're a master of magic in the way you weave magic. It would be a deception check, I'd say.
She's good at this. It's at least a 22.
It's at least a 22. And to kind of like add to this, instead of using material components, I'm going to take out the perfume bottle and kind of spray it, which I've been casting prestidigitation on this whole time, to make it smell like transmutation magic, because magic has a smell in Jarviskjir.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you two
Rather than like illusion magic.
You two disappear, and the Verminus does turn, and then just sort of chuckles down at Mikhail. Like, I guess I'll get to strip you myself. And starts,
And then I can bonus action move as well.
and starts, like, dragging the blade
30.
along your skin.
So I'm gonna bonus action move, and that'll be my turn.
Yeah. Riel, give me a con save. Come on, you're a paladin. You should be good at this. Nope, you're still paralyzed. Now the tracker I had for Devi earlier is being used for you. I won't get confused at all.
Oh, I have to roll a con save just to see if I still have the flames surrounding me.
Yes.
Because he hit me with the Ray of Frost.
I mean, is it concentration?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can concentrate on things while you're paralyzed. Okay,
I don't know
cool.
either.
I see it. I see.
What? Yeah, why wouldn't you be able to?
I guess because it's paralyzed, it's all a mental thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I 7 damage, so 10 would be the DC, so I succeed.
Awesome. He's going to use the same thing he did before, where he sort of as he does that, he points up with the other hand, and the apparitions start to scream and go down at you, Mikhail. Make a con save, but I'm fairly sure you have different advantage because you're paralyzed.
Disadvantage?
Let me check that. That one's on the shield, so I can easily check that.
Yeah.
But I think it might be disadvantage on all saves. Because you kind of like... No. You automatically would fail Dex ones, but...
Okay.
Yes,
So
you do get
I
to
make a
advance.
con save.
Yep. And you fail.
Boo.
As
So I
the
take
spirits sort of fly through you, giving you this horrible sensation of just you can feel the fires of your soul dimming with each spirit, and what happens in a matter of seconds feels like hours as you take 59 necrotic damage.
Eek.
And then
Why
he's
are
going
we
to take
getting
his
all our
turn.
bad luck in the final boss?
It's almost
Because
like
we
it
went
was
into
meant
this
to
half
be.
cocked. I'm still up! I'm
You are
looking real
still up.
bad. I'm still up.
What does he want to do? You are still up though, which is impressive. Impressive resilience.
Just cast one spell.
He's gonna cast one spell. That's how a lich works. You're right. He's going to cast. Yeah, he's gonna cast this. He's gonna back up a bit.
Boo.
And going to extend his finger to Mikhail. This is a dex save, which you fail.
I fail.
Yep. As this beam of green caustic energy sort of pulses into you, and you feel it go as it deals 73 force damage
I
to
drop.
you. Your
Like a
flesh is skinned from your body, and you are killed.
Oh.
Turns to naught but dust. Yep. Next up is... And actually, because he now thinks he's killed you all, because he thinks you run away, he's going to actually go over here, where you teleported, and sort of examine the scene. So, next up, Devi.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I'm gonna really hope that Riel can get her shit together. I'm gonna run over. I'm gonna climb up the bones and stab him.
Yeah. And again, with freedom of movement, I'm going to allow you to just basically do that. He's also not very far off the ground. Yeah, that's a hit.
Jesus.
Jeez.
We needed a crit there, really.
And I know. 20, 25. I'm gonna like back up afterwards.
Yeah, that's real.
You're not invisible anymore, right?
I'm not invisible anymore.
That's horrifying. So what happens? You run up the back, invisible.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe his skeletons would have told him that they felt that, but not quick enough for you to just pierce your blade into his back and cast the spell that do the racks of damage and sort of cut at his body. And you actually see just huge swaths of his body are cut open, and he roars with true pain as you stab him right in the fucking spine, like in between the vertebrae. And then you start dashing off again with great speed, and he reels himself around to you. And he's going to not yet. Riel.
Constitution save.
Yep.
Will, you wanna use programs but a red X on YouTube?
No!
Here, I can symbolize death even easier.
Oh no.
Oh.
Wait. Did you die? Was that disintegration?
No.
Ollie?
He has disintegrated.
So, is that like twice? Will?
Listen, it's canon now. I only die by disintegration.
I didn't even think of that.
It's like your fucking kryptonite.
Yeah.
He is going to... You know what? He's going to go with a classic. He's going to go with a classic. He's going to throw a fireball at you. He's going to see you there and just sort of like move his staff in a very like labored motion. And his staff looks heavy, but he wasn't complaining about it before. The air around sort of coalesces into fire that he launches at you. You, of course, automatically evade some of it. I believe it's a dex save, right?
You didn't press.
I didn't make a save. I just did a check.
Yeah. Go ahead and reroll that.
Even on Fridays, I've been doing that lately.
Oi.
And I believe because of evasion, you just completely resist every single effect of
I don't
it.
take any damage.
The fireball launches, and it was a good hit, but you easily sort of essentially
Tumble out of
flip
the way.
out of the way and duck
Why couldn't he
behind
throw a
cover.
fireball at me?
Maybe because you were throwing fire at him.
Because he's clever.
He might have like a 23 intelligence or something.
Shrats.
And he will move forward a bit. But not much. And then it's your turn, Devi.
I am going to romp him. I'm going to bonus action grant myself advantage by mage hand.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will attack him.
Okay.
No, you didn't give yourself advantage.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I did not?
No.
Oh. Let me reroll.
Yeah.
Sorry. I said the words doesn't matter.
Yeah, the words.
Do you want me to reroll my damage too?
No, we can use the damage. So you you basically you run up and stab him in the face because he was turned towards you. There's a horrible roar from him as he sort of grabs at your hands, dropping the staff onto the ground, and it clatters, and actually like almost rolls into the invisible Riel. And actually, I don't know if Riel was still invisible or not because of how the spell worked, but I'm going to assume
I don't think she is actually. Because I cast a spell that ends invisibility. Yeah.
I didn't know if I ended it on everyone or just the person who was using it, but obviously,
You know,
I guess
don't
if
know.
you cast a spell and it was also concentration, it would be. I don't know. Interesting question.
Spells on concentration.
The staff drops to the ground. He sort of grabs at your arm as you sort of probably twist the dagger just right in, probably in between the eyes.
No, the target has to attack or cast a spell. So we're both targets. So she has to cast. Her
Great,
spell.
so she's still invisible.
She's good.
Which is what I thought was going on. And that's what I was going to say probably was going to go on anyway. After a few moments, and there's maybe even multiple stabs and multiple uses of your magic, he sort of slumps and starts to... the skeletal wave just dissipates into nothing more than bone, and a lot of it just dust. There's this plume of white dust that takes to the air, and you even breathe in some of it as he stops moving and ceases.
I mean, that's good because I can't bonus action disengage.
Yeah, so that's the end of the combat for now.
Yeah.
For now.
None of us know how liches work.
Give me an Arcana check.
I think I've already done one for liches. But I can
You've
make another
done one to figure out that he uses the people as life force. So you maybe take a few moments. You can see through your own invisibility illusion. You know that that Riel is safe, and you're glad she is. You look at General, who is just lifeless on the ground. You look at Mikael, who is suffering a much worse fate, and everyone's in the wrong place because Scott fucked up the cameras.
I thought you fixed it ages ago.
I fixed it on the battle screen. Not this one.
Oh, Mikhail! I'm still dead anyways.
How quickly do I come back from this paralysis?
About a minute.
About a minute. Damn.
So
I've got a third level spell slot.
I know,
I have revive
but it's about a minute. It's real rough. I don't even make them rules.
I completely accept that. I just wanted to check.
You look around and you look up. And you see this deathly magic that is traveling. And it's one of those things, again, you're very good at this, at sensing magic in all of its ways. But it's traveling up from the tower, from maybe even Verminus himself, to around where there's the open faces of this top part of the tower, where it even looks like it would be crawling up the roof and to wherever the peak of the tower is. And then you remember that you believe General once said that he saw a glowing at the very, very top of the tower when you destroyed the storm wall.
I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna shake Riel.
Yeah, it's one of those things as you're sort of taking a moment, which you definitely do after that. Riel sort of comes back to in that time. For sure.
He's dead?
I'm not entirely certain. There is a magic up the top of the tower that I think we have to reach to make sure. I can get one of us up there through magical means. if I give you a rope, can you drop it down for me?
Yes, of course. And she
Okay.
sort of, as she says this, she does sort of glance at General and Mikhail and sort of frowns a bit, but...
At this point, there's still some wind up here on top of the tower.
I'm
Mikhail's...
sorry, Arvine. You glance at General and who?
Mikhail.
Who?
Mikhail.
Who?
Mikhail.
Where's Mikhail? I'm sorry, Ollie, proceed.
His skeleton's still there.
Yeah.
You
It
left
disintegrated
skeleton?
away. He disintegrated away everything but the skeleton. Yeah.
Oh, that's efficient.
Yeah. He's got. Vernus has a thing. Vernus has a thing, and he keeps to it. So you actually can see him there. But I was just gonna say, as you look, all the dust and of his equipment and his flesh, you actually see is sort of traveling out the wind.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Can I stay on Riel's back while she climbs up?
Real strong enough for that, and you're light enough.
Yeah, Real carried me.
I think we've done that with Mikhail, and you were probably the same weight. So
Yeah, so we're doing that. We're going up.
okay, so you climb up. Like I said, the top of this tower almost has these claws that go up to this conical top. As you go further up, you can see this bright green, the glowing magic of the Lich, where magic was mostly this bright, ethereal, unnatural green. This bright green glowing at the very peak, if you followed all the struts of the roof up. There's very bright glowing. It's so bright you can't even see what's making it. You just see it's there, sort of cascaded on the night sky.
So, do we destroy this, whatever it is? Debbie
Yes.
apparently inhaled some of
Sorry,
the dust.
yes.
From Mikhail.
Yeah. Ah.
Yeah, the corpse dust. It's the worst. You can't get out anything either. It just stains your clothes. But yeah, no, we have to destroy this.
Okay, in that case, I pull out the sword. I am stabbing it into the middle, and I am 3rd level divine smiting it.
Okay. I'm not even going to make you roll for that. You climb. First of all, you have to climb up the rest of it, which with spider climb, there's the factor of wind when you're on the actual top of the tower, which is the wind sort of travels in very sharp, biting ways that puts more force and brunt on your already weary and injured bodies. As you climb your way up to the top, maybe even stabbing your sword into the tiles occasionally, give yourself a little bit more grip. You get to the very top. You see this bright glowing. When you're right up to it, you can see it's in some sort of metal fixture. And you stab right in. You hear the breaking of glass and a bright glow. And then everything around you starts to shift and change very rapidly. From the very top here, it's almost a beautiful view of the kingdom. And also the dwarven kingdoms off to the west. And the mountains to the north, and you can even see the horrible scar on the land that is the breach. Why it exists still unknown, though now you're fairly sure even Verminus has little to do with it. As you do that, that visage that the two of you sees quickly changes to something else, to a vast desert of fire and magma, to a land of sea, to a beautiful verdant field, to plains of darkness and magma, and it keeps changing. Second after second, it changes and changes and changes and changes. You even feel this horrible feeling of your body being jerked from here and there, but you're never truly moving, which makes this horrible, sort of almost car sickness sensation. Before, after maybe even a minute of this, it's very hard to tell because it's very disorientating. Everything stops in just blackness, and around you see little. As you look down the top of the tower with with Devi, who has very good vision, you can see that the very city of Vanateth and some other parts are sitting in a void of blackness and nothingness. And it seems that Devi and Riel of Yavin are doomed to their fate with the doomed city. Although they did save the kingdom. They never really found the bodies. When the city itself disappeared, the armies fought that as a victory. When the city disappeared, even though people were lost in the actual fighting of inside the city walls, it was vastly outnumbered by the sheer victory. There were cheers in human and dwarven tongues alike. In efforts of peace, the dwarves and humans of that battle started to build together a community. The dwarves didn't linger for too long. They had their own things to attend to. They merely helped out of necessity. But it was a step on peace that is later seen in Jarviskjir. That city would soon be known as Lichvale, as many of the paladins who led that battle set up as the knights to look over this land. After a big battle like this, they definitely were able to convince the higher-ups that they were due to retirement and some large areas of land, and they did that. And Lichvale sat. And the rumours of what happened soon passed into little more than rumours. But more than rumours, more like religious stories. When each one of these four were told in these religious moments of Riel of Yavin being one of the mightiest paladins that has ever been, of being a symbol of strength, of Devi being known as a trickster god, of sort of a Robin Hood-esque figure. More saints than gods, of course. There is only one true god, and that is Pyth, blessed be he. Mikhael was known as probably one of the last true members of the Pyro clergy as it sort of drifted into fanaticism as the religion sort of petered away. And General isn't really known too much in the stories that are told by followers of Pyth. He's mentioned. He's mentioned as being one of the forces that brought together the other races. But he's not mentioned as a saint. But in some halfling communities in the eastern parts of the world, they tell nice, jolly stories of a halfling who was given a name by the humans that fought with him, and how he once saved the world. No one really knew what happened to Riel and Devi. People just assumed she was dead. They were dead. Both of them were dead. And no one really knew what happened to Verminus. They assumed he was vanquished. And he was known by many other names. As some who saw that battle, they decided that Verminus's forces were too strong to even be defeated in banishment and death. And, unfortunately, Verminus did get his wish of never-ending life, as he eventually became known as a god of undeath, from his own personal realm of Vanateth. But there are at least 2 people who continue to fight him, perhaps even now. And that's where we wrap up here. Our little campaign to kill a Lich. And they did kill a Lich.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a thing.
That was intense.
Yeah.
Yep. Thoughts? Feelings?
I enjoyed it. I really wanted to be able to live. I tried really
Yeah.
hard.
Oh, you lived?
I had a contingency plan for real.
Yeah. I mean, I think Riel is satisfied with that end. That could have. She didn't want to leave the Empire, but
Sacrificing herself to save the world, I think she would.
Yeah,
happy to do.
she's like satisfied with that.
All right.
Yeah, Mikhail too. He's excited that he could deal such a good blow before dying.
You changed the game. That was an insane amount of damage. No fire resistance or anything.
Exactly. I was like, all right, let me do as much damage. I know I'm gonna die. Let me just do as much as I can. I did as much as I could. Will is, after it being pointed out that I was disintegrated, is like, oh.
Yeah. You can actually cure people from disintegration, and it would been entirely possible if you had different character builds or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
I got to trick a Lich, and I got to trick a giant.
Those
That
are
was fun.
tricks. I'm going to allow you to trick the big bad evil guy. Why not? Right?
Yeah.
Convincing argument.
Just no persuasion rolls.
You let him. You made him turn his back on a rogue. Not smart. It was his
Yeah,
downfall.
I must admit, play of the game, although Mikhail was very important in that last battle with the damage did, play of the game has to go to Erin for the invisibility trick.
Yeah.
Invisibility.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that
real
was
real
good.
smart in combat invisibility. All right, because Scott is missing in action, he's probably being a dad. Usually around this time he has to dad off, so we might have to sign off without him. But I'll pretend to be Scott for his bit. It'll be fine. Why don't we start a reverse circle of fame with Erin? Erin, how are you? Your new home looks lovely.
I'm doing good. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm good. We're moving. We're mostly done, to
You're
be
mostly
honest.
moved.
Yeah. We still have some stuff back in Massachusetts, which we're gonna
Your
have to go back.
D&D books.
All my D&D books, which got.
Make sure you get your copy of Xanathar's from like his office.
I don't know where it is. Like, it wasn't in that pile.
I think he
So it's not
nabbed it
missing.
ages ago to look at like a subclass and never gave it back. I'm fairly sure
Yeah,
that's
he
what
has
happened.
it. He has it, 100%.
But
Yeah.
Eric also packed up like 4 of his 3.5 books that I know are his. So I have those also. Other than that, I'm good. I play here on Wednesdays, and I play with Scott on Fridays, and that's what I do.
Awesome. Will, who are you? How are you? Why do we care?
I am Will. I drink beer. I like beer. I'm gonna go do that now.
Awesome. Ian,
I play D&D with Ollie quite a bit. I annoy Ollie with random anime comments and posts, and then get made fun of for it. That's about it. If you want to know more about Ollie's off-stream Monday game, you will get occasional insights from me.
his tweets
like-
are probably the best way to check what's going on.
It's not really an accurate description of what goes on though. Because
Accurate
they-
description of what happens to your character in particular.
Yeah, and it's also the funny moments. It's like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah.
put an awesome portent in here.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But it's still an insight.
Yeah, and those two, Ian and Will, are actually going to be in the next game that I run. We're not going to be doing D&D next, I've been pretty forefront about. We're going to be doing a little Stars Without Number campaign, a season or 2, depending on how it goes. I'm excited for it to do something different, though I'm also excited to get back to D&D afterwards already. So I think I just like D&D a bit too much.
He's already been asking me about the D&D.
I have already been asking like
haven't
what
even
people want to do
started Stars Without
next
Number.
season. We haven't even started Stars Without Number, but those two are going to be in it. And Scott is also going to be in it. If you want to check out Scott, you can check him out at Delric. He does all the things. He's probably live on Lost Initiative later tonight. He's also runs Eberron on Fridays. That is probably one of the best things we do, tied like with original Jarviskjir maybe. Like it's super good time. And then there's me. So I don't know if we're going to go live with Stars Without Number next week or the week after. It has to be the week after because Scott is celebrating 4th of July because he's an American, which is good because it gives me more time to do the overlay. I gave myself like months. I didn't finish it. I'm really looking forward to that. If you want to support me and all the other stuff, I stream here. My schedule's going through quite a bit of a change at the moment because I'm doing some other shows and preparing for things in the future. So take the schedule with a grain of salt, but also check Twitter and Discord when things are around. If you're new, Discord down below, probably like the nicest D&D community in the world. You can even have very intelligent debates about things sometimes, depending on how emotional
And
people
Scott
get.
will wades in with his love of 3.5.
Yeah, if you wanna compare 3.5 and 5e, yeah, that happens a lot. He was doing it on stream, and yeah, I do the art streams and the game streams, and that's it. But considering now the universe caved in, I'm gonna say goodbye. Goodbye now. We'll be I'll be doing something next week, no matter what. Maybe I'll finally finish God of War. Who knows, right?